Hello and welcome to Naptime Liturgy. In this series, Short and Sacred, we're walking through all 150 Psalms one by one. The intent is not a deep dive or a study, but just a pure reading of the poetry and a few of my honest reflections. My hope is for a space for us to find a little rest in the middle of our days. Today we are resting with Psalm 13. Let's read. How long, O Lord, will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? How long must I take counsel in my soul and have sorrow in my heart all the day? How long shall my enemy be exalted over me? Consider and answer me, O Lord my God. Light up my eyes, lest I sleep the sleep of death. Lest my enemy say, I have prevailed over him. Lest my foes rejoice because I am shaken. But I have trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord because he has dealt bountifully with me. This is the word of the Lord. So initial thoughts that I'm having with this one is that it's definitely a song of lament. This psalmist is using a lot of repetitive words. How long, how long, how long? And then lest my enemies, lest my foes. Lots of repetition to kind of stress. So it's the how long he's expressing all of these lamentations, this feelings of being abandoned by God. How long will you hide from me? Will you forget me forever? And then it moves to my enemies, my foes, lest I sleep the sleep of death, lest I die. Just these words of deep despair and sadness. But then there's that switch in verse 5, but I've trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. I will sing to the Lord. So it's even beautiful when I think about this is that his prayer has not been answered yet. As he's writing this, he's still saying, how long, how long? But he's saying, but I have trusted in you. So there's this affirmation of, yes, I'm feeling these feelings. My foes are saying that I've been forgotten. My foes are rejoicing in my fears and my despair. But I have decided to trust you, and I will rejoice regardless of my circumstances because you have dealt bountifully with me. And just this beautiful trust in the Lord. Of course, my mind has to go to just this period of my life when I was just waiting, and the waiting was for a child. You know, it was 5-6 years of infertility until I got pregnant with my son, and then we lost him at 16 weeks. Just early labor. And so there was this feeling of my prayers were answered. And then, then that tragedy happened and this feeling of how long, Lord, why, Lord, all of these things. But it really was God that got me and got us through that entire situation because it felt like everything was crumbling around me. What can I trust? I can trust in the Lord and his promises for me. And it's so interesting. And I hope that it's not being taken as a child as a replacement for another child, because that's not my intent in saying this, but just this idea that trusting in God, the circumstances can completely change. I think of those years of loss and infertility, and then now I'm sitting here with my hands full with, 2 children, 2 beautiful, healthy, growing children, and just how that is not possible without God breathing his breath of life and sustaining them, sustaining me day by day. And so just I relate to the psalmist saying this, how long? But what a beautiful reminder of this. I've trusted in your steadfast love. My heart shall rejoice in your salvation. Just this beautiful reminder of trusting in God no matter your circumstances or what you're walking through. So definitely as I'm reading this, that verse 5 is just really touching my soul. And I think I'm going to write that down so that I can have it somewhere for me to look at as I go through my days. But as we read Psalm 13 today, was there any verse or phrase that felt like it was written just for you in this moment? Feel free to share it in the comments below and we can meditate on it together. Thank you for joining me for this short and sacred reading. I will meet you back here for the next psalm. Grace and peace.